So, hello. Welcome back to my experimental Let's Play series where I am Let's Playing making a game instead of playing a game. You may notice that this is not my game. This is Shenmue. As I've mentioned a few times in the past, my two biggest inspirations for Ninja Jim were Assassin's Creed and Shenmue. And while Shenmue has a lot of very serious design problems, we are going to blatantly steal one of them for Ninja Jim. It's the one I mentioned last week. It is this note system here. And the way this works is whenever there's a cutscene with important information, a little note comes into this notebook about where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to, when you're supposed to be there and all that. I like this for Ninja Jim because Ninja Jim's open world. There's a lot of different stuff going on at the same time. There's intersecting storylines, and I want to give the player a way to keep track of what's going on. And I mentioned this last week, that I was going to hide it in the pause screen, but I'm looking at Shenmue. It actually has a dedicated face button for it. I'm not going to use a face button for it, but I am going to have a dedicated button for it. So, let's go to Ninja Jim real quick. Okay, so, you may notice there's a little journal button in the bottom right corner. That is new. That used to be the dedicated cutscene button. Now you can see it all blinking with a different icon over it. I'm already using the button for cutscenes, so journal cutscenes works fantastic. I actually moved the button down a little bit because it used to be where the keys were, and I shifted the keys over to the left a little bit because I think it makes sense to have this on the screen all the time. So, right now it's this visual. It doesn't do anything. I can press the button, nothing's happening. We're going to fix that. And the 2 points that this needs to fix, I don't know if we're going to have start activating clues being in this today. We're going to see how much time we have. But what we want is my little test note is still over here. And what'll happen is when we exit out of this, a little notification will come up on the notebook that you have something new on there. Then we still have my test cutscene over here. Press the button, cutscene comes up, and when you exit out of the cutscene, it's got to delete the cutscene object. It still doesn't do that. It'll have a little notification come up that you have something new in the notebook. All right, and a couple of ways we're going to improve on Shenmue's notebook is the notes are just going to be in the order you find them. Like I mentioned before, like particularly with the clues you pick up, you can find those in any order at any time. And, you know, I want to fill out the notebook so you can see what you got. And also, like, I don't like having all these blank spaces if you don't find the specific note that the game was expecting you to find. And the other thing we're going to add is the ability to cross out notes that you've already investigated. Like the game says to go to this location at this time. And once you've done that, I don't want the game to decide you've done that. I want the player to decide they've done that. So you can go in there and cross out that you've done the thing. And it'll help you keep track of what you've done and what you haven't done. So, we're probably not going to finish all this today, but we're going to get started. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so just had some lunch. Where are we at? We are at making the notebook. We are going to copy the documents code entirely, just like we had copied the cutscene code to make the documents, and we are going to use that to start making the notepad. That sound good? I don't care. That's what I'm doing. Got it. I'm going to, let's assume I'm going to do page turning. We'll figure that out. Basically, straight up copy code from the document. That's good. Am I enunciating well? I'm trying to get better on that. I look at all my, when I'm going through all this, is like, I'm so bad at enunciating, and my volume is so low. Alright, this isn't going to have settings. So again, there's the one object, and we're doing it all through scripts. We should be turning the controls to open cutscenes off as well. Okay, so if you press the cutscene button, and assuming the controls haven't been turned off, which if you're in a cutscene or in something like that, they will be turned off, it will open the notebook object. Okay, at a place. I might change this later. That's fine. It's good. So, let's see what happens. It's going to be broken, but I want to figure out exactly what state of brokenness this looks like. What basically should happen, I should be able to open the notebook and close the notebook, and I'll show some weird information there, but that's fine. Okay, and I've pressed the button. Error, that's what I'm expecting, because I didn't change anything, I just copied that. And I can close it. Good. And presumably, if I come and open this note here, it doesn't do anything, I can't open it. Good. That's exactly what I was expecting to happen. We already have the sprite for this. This notebook there. Let's take a look. Now, I know you guys hate when I show my art, but we have a few lines here for text. What we need to determine is every line, what note it should be showing, if it should be showing a note at all. I'm going to need to add some strings for notes. And yeah, so let's just get it showing text correctly. That's a good place to start. Actually, a good first place to start. We need to add a couple strings. And this is going to be in reference to that first cutscene. Alright, 2 notes. We're just going to fill up the thing with these 2 notes. That's fine. That is fantastic. Alright, got the X and Y's of where all the text is going to be drawn, which probably wrong, but I can finish after. My next step is I got to figure out what thing is being drawn where. That's going to be complicated. I'm going to be in and out of this video a lot as I'm figuring this out. Let's just all make it one thing at first. And then we can fix things later. Where are my scripts at? These images. I think I'm done with the images. So yeah, we're going to take this note. We're just going to fill them all with this note. We're also going to want to show page number at some point. We're not worrying about that at the second. Not a priority. We'll figure that out. We are not scrolling text in. That is definitely not a thing we're doing. Alright, so if I did this correctly, it's going to fill all 10 spaces with the same line, which is good. The text is probably going to be in the wrong space. I will adjust. I just want to make sure it's showing all the text. That's it. That's all I want. We have to figure out how it's going to show the text after. But we'll get there. Okay, we're up and... Error. Yeah, I know what went wrong. You know what went wrong? I didn't change this to use the notebook scripts. That's what went wrong. It's a very silly error. We try again. And... no text at all. That's interesting. So it's just drawing the wrong image. That's going to be a quick fix. But I am able to go in and out of it. That's good. Okay. Steps in the right direction. So this is offsetting it from... let me make sure it's not behind my head. So it's doing this offset because the origin of the image is in the middle of it. But I didn't actually set this to be based off of where the image is. Okay. So it was drawing the text, it was just drawing it off screen. Probably. We go and find out. No text. It's the right image this time, though. That barely counts, though. What I am worried about is where's my text? So I cut out all this text because, like, the text isn't scrolling in. I just want the text there. And that should affect absolutely nothing. It should just be the text. Like, I'm wondering if the issue is I'm putting string in here. I think this will work. No text. No text at all. This is weird. I'm curious if the text is being drawn like... I have a feeling the text is being drawn like up in the top corner. Yeah, there it is. It's up in the top corner. There's my text. Okay. That's something. Let me figure out what's going on there. Okay. That is much closer to where I want it to be. All right. Okay. All the text is there. This was supposed to be the easy part. Just showing the text. I've been showing text on things for ages. I might tweak the spacing a bit to get that to be 3 lines. But yeah. Okay. So next step is to have it figure out what line of text it should be showing. That should be a little bit more complicated, but I know what I'm doing. No, I don't. That's a lie. I'll figure it out. My coffee is being ineffective. This might get split over a couple days of work. That's okay. As long as anything's being done, that's better than no things being done. We need to add all of this to the save file. Save is going to be alright, so every individual slot in the notebook is going to need 2 things. Whether it's active or not, and what thing it has there. So the way we have these 3 notes saved, one will show not 1, which is that one right there. That might be behind my head. I'm flipping my head around a bit this episode to make sure I'm showing everything. Note 2 will be scratched out, but I haven't done the thing for scratched out yet, but that's okay. That's fine. And we'll show note 2, and then note 3 will show nothing. Okay? Okay. Testing with 3 lines. At some point, we're going to have to make it flipping pages because there's going to be like 100 or so notes in here. Not worrying about that right now. I just want to get it to show 3 notes. I don't remember what I recorded, didn't record. I kept getting interrupted by phone calls, and I was fighting really hard to make this work. It was really frustrating. But what I have here is this lets me put any arbitrary string for line 0. And if we come over here to loading save, I'm able to save what string. So if I want node 001 to have string 001, I go over here and it loads up what's been saved. Cool. And this lets me put whatever string on whatever line I want. Right? Yes. Okay. Undefined. Not quite working correctly. I have a hunch I know why. But the idea is I could place arbitrary strings on all the lines. I need to tweak with the way I'm saving that information. But that's not an issue with the notebook object itself, because as you see, line 1 is drawing correctly. Okay. Okay, hello. It's been a couple days. I spent most of those couple days bug fixing. Where are we at? We are at this reading lines. This doesn't say proper lines now, it just says line 1, 2, and 3. Because we're going to start generalizing this to show all 10 lines. Actually, not an enormous fan of the spacing here. I might make it just 3 lines a page. But yeah, we're doing that, right? And then we are going to make it so you can change pages. Loading the save is just a mess right now. Mess code. I'm going to clean up later. This is just so I have 30 notes in there to play around with for flipping back and forth between pages. Now I'm gonna add 30. I'm going to tell you what. This 30 is going to be specifically 29. 29 is going to be set to 0 because why am I saying 29 to 0? Oh, so that it doesn't try and go later page. That's why I'm saying 29 to 0. And then once we get the pages working, we might try and do the scratching out notes. Depends on how long this takes me. I don't have a lot of time today. I'd really like to get this episode up today. So these 3 lines work. They get the text. I'd like to make this all one little loop. Like, there are pros and cons to starting lists at 1 and starting lists at 0. And I'm not very consistent because a lot of times I treat 0 as an error state, that this should have been set as something and wasn't. But for this to do math, I can just treat the second line space as what page we're on. So I can use this sort of putting together what line we're at, what page we're at. That reminds me, we're just going to set page 1. And what we're going to do later is just going to try and figure out what the last one was left empty and be on that page, which is why I set no 29 to not be set. But page is going to start with 0. Yeah, that works. That looks like this should work. These grabbing all the strings could probably be done on the create event. If I did this right, I should go in and we should just see line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Error. Good. Because my long-term plan is to make this just one big while loop. It's adding all the numbers, filling everything in. I haven't done that yet. I have to make it work first, then I can make it condense it down to a while loop. But we are not there at the moment. Good. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. See what we're going to do. We're going to make it so I can change pages. If this works, pressing left and right should just make the numbers change. So it looks like I changed pages, but there won't be an animation. Animation will come later. Perfect. That worked great. And then going up doesn't work because I can't go above this or below. Perfect. For line 29, I need to set it so it doesn't show anything if there's nothing there. This is super hacky, and I don't like it. Alright, so this is a mess of code right here, but it checks to make sure that the note isn't 0. So it won't draw it if it's 0. If it's 1, it uses the normal ink color. If it's 2, it uses faded ink color. I'm making the wall noob now. I shouldn't be doing this now. 100% should not be doing this now. I should make it work. And then turn it into a while loop. I made it a while loop, even though I said I wasn't going to do that. I did it. What are we doing? So basically, we're starting at line number 0, counting 1 up every loop. It checks to see if that line is not 0 or not, because if it is 0, it won't draw it. And sets the draw color to ink. If the line check is set to 2, it will set it to ink faded. I'm going to add a drawn image there that's going to be an X over it. Haven't done that yet. And then it draws the text. Add 1, do again. So that it'll go through all 10. I'm doing some math over here because I hard-coded the coordinates somewhere. Up here. I've hard-coded all the coordinates where the text is going to be drawn. And to get the column, it just takes the line number, divides by 5, and then floors it. So that'll get us a 0 or a 1. And then for the row number, it's the line number mod 5. So go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll draw it all correctly. Presumably. It has been. I've been testing. So we're going to run it. And there it is. First 3 lines are faded out as I wanted them to be. And line 29 doesn't show up. And I want to get an actual X over. I like the faded out in color a little bit more, and I might make the normal text color a little bit more faded out so it's easier on the eyes. So I think that's the thing I noticed with the note over here is the dark color is actually a little hard on the eyes. So I might fade out the standard ink color a little bit. Next step. I'm going to get the X drawn over there, and then I need it to figure out what page to load it on. It should just load to the last page that doesn't have any empty slots. Unless an empty slot's the next page. I don't want loading on an empty page and have to go back. It should load on. It should find the last slot that isn't filled. Subtract 1 to find the last slot that is filled. So the last slot that is filled, which would be 1 before the first slot that isn't filled. And then figure out what page that's on, and then load the notebook at that page. That's my next step. And I need to know that number anyway, because when we have new notes come in with the clues and the cutscenes, it needs to put it in whatever the first slot that isn't filled. So that's our next step. All right, so very simple X out. Might do something fancier later. That's just very simple. Hey, this is X out. We did it. I'll put a cursor over this at some point to let you decide what you want to X out, but I'm starting to think that's not going to happen in this episode, which is fine. What was my next thing? Page numbers. That should be simple. We want to do small font. We want to do the tiny font, like with the equipment and addresses and all that. So let's find my tiny font. All right, so if I did this right, which I didn't, this is going to draw the page number times 2, because it's open up, plus 1. So that what we're calling page number 0 will show up as 1. And then the flip side is plus 2. So these locations are almost definitely going to be wrong, as it always is. Okay, let's see how that goes. It's not going to work, but nothing ever works. That's fine. It's figuring out how it doesn't work and then fixing it. Right. Once again, forgot to make the drawing the text based on where the text box is. So who knows where it was actually drawing the page numbers. That's fine. We are one step closer. Perfect. Actually, not perfect. It's backwards. Easy fix. Easy fix. This is supposed to be negative, and this is supposed to be positive. Left is negative, right is positive, not the other way around, which I had it. That's okay. That's okay. Right, page numbers. Nice. Maybe push them out like 4 pixels and make them the ink color. I'm probably not going to have a front cover like Shenmue does. I don't actually care for that. always comment your code. So this right here is the thing that determines whether it is a thing or not. You know what I meant. The thing that determines whether it's a thing or not. Once I have this, I can just make this all one while loop as well. All right, it only needs to count us up until it hits 0, which means presumably I'm going to have, like, after I've done all this, I have to have a final, like, I'm going to have to at least one more space than there are notes to find, so that it'll eventually hit 0. This is the thing about dealing with numbers and wanting to put them here, is I need to have, like, a line count string equals line count, because I need to turn it into, I need to add all the preceding zeros, which I have like these sorts of while things all over the place. I wish there was just a function that I could say keep the preceding zeros. Yeah, because this is finding the last one, the first one that equals 0. So our line count is going up, and this should find, and then I'm turning it into a string. That's 3 digits. Putting it into here, so I'm finding the first one that equals 0. So this will be the first one that equals 0. Then the line total will not equal 0. The line total will be the first line that has something in it. Right? Okay. Right. So the page number, the page will equal floor line total divided by 10. Right? Right? That makes sense? That makes sense, I think. Yeah, because the page will be, we're going to experiment. We're going to experiment. So if this starts right, it should load up to the last page. And if it does, I'm going to pull one out on the second page to see if it loads right to the second page. And just for extra due diligence, we'll do one with the first page. It broke. Good. Well, not good, but you know. All right, execution error. That means I didn't turn, usually that means I didn't turn something into a string that should have been a string. Yep. I didn't turn this into a string. That's what happened. All my freaking while loops. I never really used while loops before figuring out how to do the control things before. Not while loops, but like the trying to composite variable names like this. So I'm getting errors a lot because I'm still learning. Anyway. So, it didn't work. That's fine. Let me break out my calculator real quick. 28 divided by, oh yeah, that wouldn't work. No. 28 divided by 10. This would be 2. Yeah. Because the first page is 0, then that's when so flooring line total divided by 10. Oh, ha. All right, this should work now. Perfect. It opened to the last page. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to my loading save, and we're just going to take one out. Let's say 15. 15 is now going to be 0. Using this method, I can also now I know how many total pages there's going to be. Yeah, because it's going to be the same number here. Right? It opened to the second page. Awesome. That's what I wanted. Cool. All right. It's been a few days. Missed the deadline that I wanted to upload the episode. I figured might as well just keep working on the game, huh? Okay. Changes I've made. See, it gets like, it's like starts dark and ends up light. Feels a little bit more like a book opening. I might tweak that a little bit. I like it. Played around with the colors a bit. You may also notice in the top left-hand corner, that's going to be the cursor. That's the next thing we're going to play around with. Any other changes? I don't remember. It was like 4 days ago was the last time I worked on this. I think it was mostly the coloring and glitch fixes. Glitch fixes are a great thing for me to do while I'm not recording. Anyway, mic's a little far away from me, or I'm far away from the mic. Anyway, so The thing we are going to work on now is moving the cursor around so I can X out and un-X out lines. That's the thing we're going to work on now. Okay, so let's open up controls. Controls and draw. We're going to need both controls and draw. So the way controls work right now is pressing right and left changes the page number. I don't want it to always do that because I want it to be able to move on the right and left side of the screen, and then like if you're on the right page and hit right, then you go to the next page, and vice versa. You got it? Okay, cool. Yeah, this is where I'm drawing the highlight. And how am I determining where this, like, I did this like yesterday. Oh, I'm just hard coding with 0 and 0 right now. I need to figure out which one's supposed to be highlighted, and then get the thing to move around. And I'd like the default one to be highlighted as whatever the last one that came in. So whatever the last thing is, that's when starts highlighted. This is still a mess. I want to turn this into a while loop. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. That's fine. We can actually use line total. As we do line total mod 10, we'll know where it's supposed to be. We're not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about that yet. We're just going to set it 0, 0, and then we can move it around. We are not going to be changing page numbers at the moment. And we're going to need to add more clamping. Do I have those backwards? Yeah, I have those backwards. Left is supposed to be -1. Right is +1. Okay. Good. Now, is there a reason I have this in my while loop? No, I don't. I have it up here. Now these are all 1 digit, so I don't need to fix that. I need to spell string right. That is important. I'm not picky about my variables, but functions I do need to spell right. Okay. So, if this worked, highlight row and column starts at the top left corner. Doing the controls will move the coordinates where it's supposed to be around, and then we draw at the coordinates. Let's see if that works. I'm confident this will work on the first try, because I know what I'm doing now. I don't, but I'm still confident this is going to work on the first try. Yes, it works. It worked on the first try. It can go to areas that don't have a line. I think I'm okay. I'm going to need to move the page numbers a little bit. And I can't change the pages because I turned that off. Yes, this is good. So what I need to be able to do is if I'm on the left like this and I push left, it needs to change the page. If I push right, it'll do right. The up downs, those don't matter. If you push down from here, should it go to the next page? Should do like if I go down from 24, should it just jump up to 25? And likewise from 20, should it go up to the next page? Leave that for playtesting. Okay. So, first step. I want to scooch over the page numbers a couple pixels. We do that. Okay, page numbers are scooched over. So this will set it back to the other page. Cool. If I do this here, y is equal to 0, set it to 1, set it to -1. Right? Good? Good. I think. What's my time? I have to run out here a little bit, but I'm going to be back. So, yeah, you don't care. Doesn't work. Not let me change lines at all. Okay. Did something backwards. Oh, you know why? I'm clamping these down here. Actually, I'm changing my mind. Because it's going to be, if it's 2, that means it's in the wrong place. And if it's -1, that means it's in the wrong place, because this place doesn't exist. And then down here, that's where I clamp them. Okay. It works. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, actually, that was unintended, but I like that, actually. Yeah, going back and forth like that might keep pressing it. I'm keeping that. Okay, so next step is to cross and uncross out the lines. Right now, pressing the select, the A. I press the B. The B does something. It exits out. But right now, pressing A does nothing. I wonder, does the A get green screened out? I bet it does. Okay. So, we need to figure out what thing it's on. Yeah, because it's... I want it to start here, but I'm going to do that. The next thing is the Xing and un-Xing out. Because there's no reason for players to not be able to un-X out something. Okay. So right now, pressing select does nothing. With the highlight row and column and page number, I should be able to figure out what one we're on and then change it, right? Highlight call times 5. This is going to be either 0 or 1 plus highlight row. So yeah, the line that is highlighted is page times 10 plus column times 5 plus row. That'll give us the number. Just for consistency, I'm going to do row times 1. It does nothing. It looks nicer to me. So, yeah. That's how we figure out the line that is highlighted. Okay. And now we need highlight line string, because we're turning this into a string now. And this needs to be 3. So this is going to add all of our preceding zeros back onto it. Okay, and now this gives us the 3-digit number of the line we have highlighted. Now that we know what line we have highlighted, we need to set it. We need to, when we're pressing the button, set it to be selected or not selected. If this is equal to 1, we want it to equal 2. And if it's 2, we want it to equal 1. Better idea. So we don't get weird loops and stuff. I don't know if this is going to work, because I don't know if I can change variables like this. We're going to try it, and it's not going to work, and then I'm going to spend like 20 minutes researching how to actually do this. Yeah, okay. Didn't work. Give me a few minutes. I'll look into this. Okay, so simple issue. I'm supposed to be using variable instance set. And get, I don't know why they're two different functions, but it is. That's fine. I'm learning GameMaker. I've been using GameMaker for the better part of my life, and I'm still learning how to use it. That's okay. That's how learning to code works. But that means if I go to this, I can X things out and save them. Yeah, the page number down there, that was to help me make sure I was selecting the right line number. I'll fix that. And also, it doesn't do anything on things that don't have a line there. And I can go back. And this. Cool. That means, other than fixing the page number there, the notebook system works entirely. Everything about it's working. The only thing to change now is to trigger clues getting added to it. And we have a test clue. We have a test cutscene. We're going to do both and make sure that works. First step. I'm going to fix this to show the page number instead of the thing. Now we're going to go to my save, and these all get zeroed out now. None of these are saved now. They are all 0. Okay, so we have some notes there. I'm curious if this will break if I have no notes with the line, because subtracting one. But we're putting 1 in there, because there's a few notes the game are just going to start you with. And we want the cutscene to activate note 2, item to activate note 3. Let's start with the cutscene. And note is going to be, this is note 2. So note 2. So this tells us what note it is. So the default is going to be note 000, 002. And it'll just assume if the note is set as 0, there isn't a new note to set. But we're setting it at 2. And this is at the bottom here, where I'm doing all the thing at the end of the scene. So I want to do this at the end. It's not going to trigger this. This bit of script here, this is how we found out what the last line was. So we are going to copy this. Okay, so if I did this right, and if note is not equal to 000, because if note's 000, then it's not adding anything. We check to see what the smallest line without anything saved. Actually, this shouldn't be negative because we're looking for the next one without any saved. And then we're turning that into the 3-digit number, which we want. And then we're setting it to 1, which means it's saved. And then we're setting the thing with the string to what's in the note. Right? Right? Let's load it up. Okay, so as we see in the note, there's just that one. Just that one note. Don't worry about what the box or Mr. Zhang. You'll find out about them. And we go to the cutscene, and we watch the cutscene. Okay. Like always, I forgot to set something as a string. And yes, it's there. Wait, let's go out of the area. It's not there. Oh, yeah, I can do that. That's the thing. And I go in, I watch the cutscene, and it's there. Okay. Which means this presumably I should be able to just copy over this code from the cutscenes to the documents and it'll work. We're going to find out. All right. And nothing there. Oh, that's wrong. Yeah, see, it didn't cut out. Didn't cut out all my hard-coded things. We try again. I mean, it actually worked. I just had all the old strings there that shouldn't exist anymore. And there it is. And if I go over here and watch this cutscene again, now that automatically goes to the third line. And if I reset this, I go to the cutscene first. Oh, it did. Haha. It didn't clear all of them when I reset the game. That's an interesting glitch. I gotta see if I needed to check to make sure that nothing is already using, that nothing is using that one, just in case this comes up as an error. That's an interesting glitch. Something in this to check to make sure none of the strings are already set to this. All right, so now what it's doing is it's check while it's going through to try and find the highest line that isn't set yet. It's checking all of them to see if any of them are already set as this note number, and if there is, it just exits out. It's like, hey, this note's already saved somewhere. Let's check that in the cutscene before I copy it over to the document. Okay, so we view the cutscene, and note is there. So if we reset this, which is basically going into a room and coming back out, we'll redo that. Eventually, I'm going to have the cutscenes and documents save that they've begotten, so that when you reload the room, they'll just delete themselves. Haven't done that yet. And didn't add it. But if I come over here and look at the document, and it's after. So yeah, oh yeah, and I can cross out things. So yes, this system It's working perfectly. It does everything I want. The only new thing to add is when it does add a new note to the notebook, there will be a little notification thing on the journal icon. I'm going to do that afterward because you guys don't care about watching me do art. But yeah, this system is 100% and entirely successful and not as hard to make as I expected it to be. Can't go any further pages because there are no more. Yeah, so I'm going to clean up some art. I'm going to make a notification. But that's it for this system. This is fantastic. I don't even know what I'm going to work on this next episode because I expected this to take me longer. Maybe it'll be the pause screen. Maybe we will be going back to cutscenes and making some proper cutscenes because right now it's just the dialogue box. And I've been writing a lot of the story, so I have a better idea of what cutscenes might actually look like. Yeah, expect that to be the next episode. Us actually making some proper in-game cutscenes. But that's all for today, I think. I'm very happy with that. And yeah, do the call to action. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think of the system. Tell me about the games you're coding, if any of this is helpful for you. It probably isn't. I'm just showing myself fail over and over again. But, you know, that's okay. I will see you next time. And now I run around while the end card plays. Da 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 da.